What is up, YouTube? I am Galate74 here, bringing you our Week 1 battle of the PEBA. We are finally back with more PEBA action as we are arriving for Season 3 of Week 1. We are facing off against the Hungry Bidoof, coach of the Star Platinum Primarina, and that logo on the thumbnail, and I might throw it on screen now. It's a very, very interesting logo, to say the least. But anyway, I'm looking very forward to this, obviously, because the PEBA is one of my favorite leagues. I like the team we are using. And before we get into this, I want to say that in the team analysis, I forgot to mention that my team is Psychic weak, a bit, at least defensively. And what do you know, Bidoof has two very high-tier Psychics on his team, so that's how we're going to start off the season. We have a very, very threatening offensive team against, and in Bidoof's team, as his team is very, very offensive, so we have to play around that as much as possible. Luckily, his defense isn't that great, so I will get into that in the team builder a little more. Before we get into that, I want to plug yesterday's video, because yesterday's video against the Monterey Suicunes was really funny, and I highly recommend you go check that out, so it will be on my channel. And then lastly, I'll have all the plugs for everyone who wants to plug in the PEBA in the description below, so make sure to go check out all those channels and Twitters there. Now, without further ado, we're going to get into his team. Okay, so his team consists of Tapu Lele, Megaladios, Cartano Z-Moves, Blacephalon, Dugtrio Z-Moves, Pelipper, Umbreon, Masquerain, Ditto, Ludicolo, and Volbeat. Now you guys can tell that his defense consists of Pelipper and Umbreon, and that is it. So defensively, breaking him down is going to be very easy. Even if he doesn't bring defense, he might not even bring some. He might just go full-out offense, which is, again, mainly the biggest threat in his team, as his offense is very good against mine. However, my offense is also very good against his, so it kind of depends on who gets the upper hand and who carries momentum throughout the battle. Basically, I think is going to determine how this battle goes, because if I control the tempo of the match, I'm going to win the battle. And the same goes for him. If he controls the tempo of the match, then I think he'll win the battle. But again, and there's a big reason. Is you see a Dugtrio on your screen right here, and that is probably the only reason I say that, because if he didn't have a Dugtrio, then I have a Mega Dynasty, which, spoilers does come, can kind of go in on his team. But anyway, what I expect him to bring consists of Tapu Lele, Megaladios, Dugtrio, Umbreon, Ditto, and the last three are up for grabs. It could be Gartana, it could be the Pelipper, and it could be the Ludicolo. I don't think he's going to bring Blacephalon because it just has a really, really bad matchup overall. Masquerain doesn't do too much in this match, and I don't see Volbeat coming in either. So that is his team. Now my team, guys, you guys know I drafted Bidoof if you saw the thing, and we're facing the Hungry Bidoof, so it's almost like we had to bring it, and so we are bringing it. We are bringing a team consisting of Ash Greninja, Tentacruel, Tangrowth, Volcarona, Bidoof, and Mega Diancie. By the way, guys, I forgot to mention, throughout the season, I am going to go through my teams in detail, because I only face everybody once, barring playoffs, and by the time playoffs come around, I will come around with a different strategy, so let's throw it out there real quick. But anyway, the first one we're bringing is Ash Greninja. Ash Greninja is holding the Dread Plate with the moves Water Shuriken, Dark Pulse, Gunk Shot, and U-Turn, 252 special attack, and 240 speed with the hasty nature, and 16 HP. This set is really, really good against his team offensively. Dark Pulse, Dread Plate, he doesn't have a good switch in except for Umbreon, and if he brings an Umbreon, I can just U-Turn out into something else on my team that can take care of it pretty easily. Dark Pulse is mainly the biggest spam move on his team, as it does half to almost every single hunt on his team, again, outside Umbreon. Gunk Shot was for the Tapu Lele, because with a little bit of chip, I can beat it. And Water Shuriken's only there because if Dugtrio is Scarf, I'm going to have to be forced to click Water Shuriken, which is fine with me, because that's the only time I'll ever click Water Shuriken with this thing. So there's that. And again, if I get the Battle Bomb boost, then Gunk Shot, like Oko's Tapu Lele, Dark Pulse switch-ins don't exist on his team after that, and just Greninja becomes a really, really big threat. Our next set is Tentacruel. Tentacruel is rocking Toxic, Rapid Spin, Scald, and Sludge Wave with the Shed Cell, 248 HP, 152 special defense with a Calm Nature, and 108 speed. The speed was to outspeed and max speed Ludicolo outside of Rain, and this Tentacruel is possibly the most important member of my team defensively, because it walls a lot of things on his team, guys. A lot of things on his team get walled by this thing. Blacephalon can't do much, Pelipper can't do much, Umbreon can barely touch this thing, Masquerain can't do anything, Ludicolo doesn't do much, and Volbeat doesn't. That's like a 3/4 of his team right there. Granted, his Psychic types do a lot of damage, but if Tapu Lele is Scarf, which is what I'm expecting him to be, and that is the most threatening threat, the most threatening set, if he locks himself in the Moonblast, and then Tentacool can take care of that as well. So Tentacool has a really, really good matchup against his team, and I can basically just spam Toxic around his team because nothing wants to take a Toxic. And Rapid Spin is for the Stealth Rocks. If he even brings rocks on Dugtrio, I don't think he's going to bring it, but just in case he does, I will have Rapid Spin. And Shed Shell is to get out of Dugtrio's trapping. So Tentacool is very important. We're going to move on to our next spawn, which is Tangrowth. Tangrowth is rocking an AV with Giga Drain, Hidden Power Fire, Poison Jab, and Infestation. Max HP, 288 Special Defense, and Assassination with a little bit of defense. This is mainly here for Kartana and to actually take Psychic hits because, again, I don't have much for Psychic hits. Sorry, I can't talk. And that is what the Tangrowth's here for. I wanted to run Knockoff so I could hit Megaladios a little harder because actually I really can't touch that thing outside of Infestation, which is still nice chip damage on it, but if it's got like a sub, then I have to be really careful about it. But I couldn't run Knockoff because if he does bring the Ditto, he can transform into my Tangrowth, and even though my Tentacool can switch in and take a hit fine, if he uses Knockoff, then my Shed Shell's gone, and then that Dugtrio becomes a huge threat. So I didn't want to risk that, and everything else was there for like HP Fire for Kartana because I can tank a hit from Kartana pretty easily. Giga Drain for standard Giga Drain stab against a few of his mons, and then, you know, Poison Jab for Tapu Lele. So that is the Tangrowth set. I'm trying to speed this up, guys. I apologize. Next, we bringing our Volcarona. This Volcarona is running Bug Buzz, Flamethrower, Hidden Power, Electric, and Roost. 252 special attack, 216 speed with a Timid Nature, and 40 in defense. This originally was a Quiver Dance set, but I decided to change it last second because I felt like the Scarf was just a little bit better. You guys will see something in the battle. I promise. Something funny happens with Volcarona in the battle. But this is mainly here just to spam moves against his team. It's not as big of a priority as much as my other mons, but this is basically my, hey, Megaladios isn't going to sweep me set because Bug Buzz Scarf does a lot of damage to it and it goes through a sub. The only thing this gets walled by basically is Blacephalon, and I don't expect him to bring Blacephalon, so it's not really big of a problem. So that is the Volcarona set. And then not lastly, we have Bidoof next, the best mon on the team easily. We have Focus Sash, Swords Dance, Return, Quick Attack, and Superpower. Again, not expecting him to bring Blacephalon, so I didn't run Crunch. Focus Sash basically, Return does a lot of damage to his team, surprisingly. If you look at his team, the only thing that wants to take Return is Umbreon and Pelipper, and Umbreon doesn't really want to take a Superpower. This thing actually hits surprisingly hard. Like, if I get a Swords Dance up somehow, this thing almost OHKOs something, or it's going to do a hefty amount to something. And I'm really, really shocked about it, but I'm really happy about it. And again, it's kind of a meme, but I'm glad I was able to bring it week 1. Lastly, we have our Mega Deontay. I was a little skeptical to bring this thing, but it's got Diamond Storm, Moonblast, Magnet Rise, and Substitute. 200 HP, 60 special attack, and 248 speed with a hasty nature, so it's a really fast Deontay. He's got no switch-ins to the combination of Diamond Storm and Moonblast. I have to be careful with Dugtrio, obviously, because Earthquake basically one-shots me. That is why I have Substitute Magnet Rise, because if I set up a Substitute on a predicted switch, he'll break my sub, but then I'll Magnet Rise, and then he can't touch me after that, and then I beat the Dugtrio that way. So that is the Deontay set. I tried to speed through that team builder as much as I could because I took forever on the Greninja. That is the team we are rocking with this week. Again, Bidoof's coming. I'm so excited to see if this thing does work. And again, with the rest of my mons, I think offensively I have a good matchup with this. I have to be careful again of a few small things like Tapu Lele, Megaladios, and Dugtrio. But if I can get around that, we'll be fine. Now, I'm out of breath. We're going to take a small break, and we're going to head over to Pokemon Showdown and see how our Week 1 battle went. Okay, we are here on Pokemon Showdown. I've extended my opener for like 5 seconds, even though I'm talking about it now. I see he's got no Ditto, but he does have the Volbeat, so I'm kind of curious to see how that goes. I decided to lead off with Bidoof because I want Bidoof to do something in this matchup right away. As he sends in Dugtrio, I'm like, oh, this is great. Because I have the Sash. It doesn't even bring me down a Sash. I'm going to go for Return, and it does 83% to this Dugtrio. I decided I didn't go for the Quick Attack because if Lele came in, then it would be kind of a problem. But he doesn't. But he allows me to have Dugtrio so weak, and knowing he's not Scarf because he went for the Rock Slide, I can just really Dark Pulse instead of having to go for the Water Shuriken. So turn 3, Dugtrio's down, Bidoof's down. The biggest threat to Deontay is gone, and now Deontay can go in on his team. He pulls a weird double in the Latios. I'm not sure what he was expecting here, maybe a low kick or something, but I just could pull off a U-turn, do a nice 60%, as I can just go into Deontay. I can guarantee take any one hit from this thing, as I can Mega Evolve and fire off a Moonblast. As he Mega Evolves first, showing that he's actually max speed. And he goes for the Tailwind, which I thought was really weird. I'm going for the Moonblast, and down goes the Latios. And by turn 5, this is a very, very offensive game, like I kind of predicted. I think everyone predicted that, to be honest. He sends in Volbeat. I'm really confused. I know Volbeat can't do anything to me, so I'm just going to set up a substitute. He's going to get up to +6 because of his Prankster. But that's fine because I can just Diamond Storm, and this thing is Sash, which it doesn't really shock me too much. And he's going to be able to get off a Bug Buzz since the Tailwind's still up, but that's fine because, I mean, Deontay doesn't take much from that. It's +6, and it does that much because Rock and Fairy typing. But I'm going to take off Volbeat here, and we're flying through these turns. But this Tailwind Petter's out, which is nice. So now if Lele is faster, I'll know it's Scarf, which it turns out it actually is Scarf. So he's going to knock out my substitute, as I am going to fire off a Moonblast and do a solid 59%. I have to switch out because I think Deontay is still useful against the Blacephalon and Umbreon, as I'm going to go into Tentacool. And this is really good because Umbreon can't do much to me. I can just fire off a Toxic, and I get to learn about this Umbreon set a little bit, as he does throw off a Wish. I'm like, okay, that's expected. And he's going to take a little bit of chip damage. And now this turn, I decided to go for Sludge Wave to get a little more chip, but he turns out to actually have the Heal Bell. So he's got Wish and Heal Bell now. I'm like, alright, that's a little annoying, but I have way more Toxics than he has Heal Bells. I can stall out his Heal Bells a bit, and this will be a little bit of a stally thing, but I can get into one of my offensive threats this time around, since he's going to have to protect unless he wants to keep this Toxic on. As this time, I am going to go into Mega Deontay, as I can take a Foul Play, and he just ends up Heal Belling again, so he's basically up to full health, but that's fine. Now I have my Deontay in for absolutely free, and I can just fire off a Moonblast on this thing. And he is going to send in Lele and sack it, and I'm like, oh, that's weird. And at this point in the battle, I really thought that Blacephalon is going to be Choice Specs. So I'm thinking, oh, well, I basically just won the game right here. It's going to be a nice 5-0. Unfortunately, this Blacephalon is actually Scarf as well. So he brought dual Scarfers on this team, which I thought was really weird. But that's fine. Again, I mentioned in the team builder that Blacephalon wasn't a big problem, as my Ash Greninja can just come in here. It's going to tank a hit. It does a lot of damage because it's +1, but I can just fire off a Dark Pulse and knock out this Blacephalon. And he's basically down to his Umbreon. That was my dog in the background. Sorry about that. And guys, you see here, I'm going to go for U-turn, right? And I go into Volcarona. I'm just going to try and wrap up this game. He is going to Toxic me on the switch-in, so that kind of really sucks because he could possibly just Wish Protect if he's got Protect. But that means he doesn't have Toxic, which is kind of weird because he wouldn't have Protect. Which, okay, you see here, I have Bug Bite, by the way. I forgot Bug Buzz. I put Bug Bite on accident. His full moveset is Toxic, Wish, Protect, Heal Bell, so he can't touch the Tentacruel. So basically, he knows that, and I know that. And guys, I'm gonna skip it for you guys. This lasted a while, and I'm just gonna skip to the end here because I tried different things. I decided to give him my Greninja. We made a deal, so I didn't have to sit through that stall war, even though he did sit through 30 turns. And I gave him the Greninja, and he said he'll just stop trying to click Heal Bell, even though I could have preserved the 4-0, but it would have been a much longer and boring battle. So basically, guys, we win the game 3-0. This Umbreon was really annoying, let me tell you guys, but you guys don't have to go through that as we did in the Pokemon Showdown, as well as all the spectators did. But yep, that is a GG to Bidoof. We move up to a nice 1-0 record with a +3 differential. Next week we take on the Boston Centrets, coached by Nasadi, and he has a Magearna on his team, so let's make sure to look forward to that. And we also face the Crusading Haunters in the Ocean League of the quarterfinals of the playoffs, so that's going to be an interesting game to say the least. So thank you guys all for watching. If you enjoyed the video, make sure to leave a like as usual. If you guys like Pokemon Draft League content, consider subscribing to the channel, as I am trying to post more on the weekends, as I've been double uploading, of course. That's all I got for you guys. I'm going to head out of here. Have a fantastic day, YouTube.